Hello, this is Matt Vallant. This is episode 3 of my video series on the Valley of the Pharaohs, the role-playing game that I wrote. This is part 2 of the character races and background information to give you a little more insight into the game, the thought process that I had in creating the different parts of the game, give you some additional background material and ideas. As stated in the previous video, there's 8 character races in the game or circle. We went through the first 4 in video 2, and now we're going to conclude with the final 4. The Pharaohs, or snake people, are known for their stealthiness and their love of silence. And when I say love of silence, I mean these characters are not going to be overly outgoing or boisterous type characters. And it's not that they won't associate with those kind of characters. It's just that's not their preferred personality. They prefer to observe in silence and not speak as much as perhaps the normal person would. They do have a special affinity for artisans and laborers. So people with those occupations won't normally be attacked by Pharaoh characters, although that's not 100% certain. There's plenty of situations where they will, but just in general, Pharaoh do not attack artisans and laborers. They receive a racial skill of stealth, and they get a 5% bonus on that skill. They also receive a bonus to detect odor, and this could be either as a perception check or an attribute check, depending on the situation. They receive that bonus. They also, in their native form, the snake-headed form, they can perform a bite attack, and if they're successful, there's a chance that the victim will experience average poison, blood poison effects. And that information is explained further under the poison use skill in the game. Characters of this race can be soldiers, scholars, thieves, artisans, or laborers. Car or frog people, they can either be a frog or a toad, and generally this would be up to the player to determine which form they would like to be. They're known for their leaping ability and quickness. They have, and this is explained more in the book, but in general they can leap the distance equal to their speed in meters. So if their speed is 12, they can leap up to 12 meters. And there's restrictions on how much they can carry when they do this, that sort of thing. But that gives them tremendous leaping ability. They're also similar to the crocodile people. They have a swimming skill. They receive that as a racial skill, and they get a plus 5% in that skill. Characters of this race cannot be drowned in water, although they normally breathe just like any other mammal does through their lungs. They are able to absorb oxygen through their skin, so they're not subject to being drowned in water. Now, a small percentage of these characters have the ability to exude a poison substance or irritant from their skin, and that can be used as either contact poison, or if it's smeared on arrowheads or a knife blade or something like that, could be also used as a blood poison. And this is explained further in the poison use skill, and it's considered a mild uh, poison if used in this fashion. These characters can be soldiers, priests, merchants, or artisans. Mao, the cat people, and these are generally associated with Sekhmet and Bast as the deity. They're considered skilled hunters and fighters. They have a rage ability in combat, and this is not something that's generally under the character's control. It can happen somewhat randomly, and it's based on initiative. Uh, in the combat system of the game, you roll initiative every combat round. It's a 20-sided die roll, and there's a 10% chance that a Mao character will fly into a rage. And this gives them bonuses to hit and bonuses to damage. But they're unable to dodge in this condition. So it has its pluses and its negatives. They receive a hunting as a racial skill. They get a bonus in that. Balance, which is a skill everyone has. They also receive another 5% bonus in that. If they choose the barter skill, again, this has to be chosen, they receive a +5 in that skill. In their native form, they have a claw attack. Mao characters can be soldiers, priests, merchants, thieves, or artisans. And the final race is the Sam, or the cattle people. And as in many ancient cultures, cattle were very much revered from prior to recorded history because of their ability in nurturing characteristics, their ability to give milk, which was very important to ancient cultures. Example, deities in the Egyptian pantheon would be Hathor is probably the most prime example, but also the Apis bull and others as well. All of these characters have a small whitish triangle on their forehead. That's one of their identifying features, and this is in their human form as well as any other form. Their animal or normal form would have a small whitish triangle on their forehead. They can communicate with normal cattle and they exert a calming influence if needed on the herd. They're known for their strength. They have great strength and can carry up to 6 times their strength attribute. Normal characters can carry up to 4 times, but the Sam can carry up to 6. They receive animal husbandry as a racial skill. They get +5% in that. If they choose a building skill, they would receive a +5% bonus in that skill. In their native form, they can use their horns as a weapon and can attack with those. Sam characters can be soldiers, priests, merchants, thieves, or laborers. Now, once you've determined the race of the character, you then determine the social caste. And the social caste in general, it does 2 things. It limits your occupational choice, but it also gives you a bonus in one of the 5 attributes. So in general, if you roll randomly and you notice on the table, majority of characters would be common from the common cast. But the other three, the nobles, which would be akin to either the royal family or the vizier. There was two viziers in Egypt, one for Upper and one for Lower Egypt. During the time of this game, there was also a vizier for Nubia. So there was a total of three in the time of the game. But the nobility also would be could be also related to the governors of the various provinces, or what are called nomes in ancient Egypt as well. Clergy is just that, the various priestly characters. However, in ancient Egypt, being designated a priest didn't mean necessarily that you had any religious obligations at all. People who worked at temples were quite often referred to as priests. So being of the priestly caste doesn't mean that you're a particularly religious character or anything of that nature. And finally, the bureaucracy. Egypt had a large bureaucratic caste, and they're the people responsible for basically making the country run. So there's quite a number of them as well. Now, in the course of the game, you can just roll randomly for each character, or if the party or the game master has a particular type of scenario or game they want to play, you can just choose one and have everybody come from a single cast, or any variation thereof. I mean, another idea would be to roll your cast randomly as it is shown, but to have the party, if you will, all be, for some reason, they're enslaved, or they're serving in the military, they were impressed into military service or public service, building a temple or something of that nature. So there's a lot of reasons why you could have a party of different backgrounds all coming together for some common cause. Now, in the attribute bonuses, you'll notice each cast receives a +1 to the particular attribute. And we'll get into attributes be very soon, probably in the next maybe 2 more episodes. But you'll see that in a general 3d6 situation, having a +1 in one of these attributes can be a very nice bonus. So that's it for this part 2 of the background races of the game. This was a relatively short video, which is what I intend to do. I don't want these to be overly long, just a quick brief overview of things, just to give you some more ideas and reasoning behind the way that I structured the game. So again, the game is available on coincrowdesigns.com, and please check it out. Thank you.